election where them do, we still dey wait for the change, all the promise when them make, they gonna be like say na fake, where the money, where the food, everybody want improve, since you come the tears and pain, we don't tire to complain, I see the man where you been good, you don't take Nigeria into do, 97% and 5%, you know we talk like president, rule Nigeria with sentiment, and take your office to revenge. Oh yeah, now, all the Buhari, we dey beg you, make Nigeria no go scatter for your head, yo. Yes, true. After the election, where them do, we still dey wait to see the change, yo. Cause all the promise when them make, they gonna be like say them fake, yo. And where the money, where the food, Nigeria people want improve, but since you come the tears and pain, we don't tire to complain, I know we're voting for the youth, and security no improve, inflation no dey hit the roof, still government no dey say the truth. I am my brother, this change na yours. Come to this suffer, bring on for Nigeria. I am my sister, this coming na yours. Come to this suffer.
Thank you so much for joining me. I'm just waiting on our presidential candidate, Omoyele Sowore, to join us so that we can fire this. So let me, yeah, so Mr. President is here, so we can, I'm finding it difficult to bring you on. Probably you should check your device, please, Mr. President. Around the world, the sky. So I'm trying to bring him on now, so still a little bit so I'm trying to bring a guest on, but it seems the devices are not connecting, so we'll keep trying. Yeah, so Mr. President, you can log out and join again, then I will send the request as well. So we are trying to bring him on. All right, sir. So let me try again. Off. I still can't bring you on. I don't know why. I still can't bring you on, so to say. So if you can, sorry, can you see any what is it called? This particular icon on your screen where you can join. Then at the same time, remember you have to keep the phone in horizontal position, sir. And you know, so Alex Bank, yeah, I can bring the president on now. Yeah. Yep. President, and who is that? Who is that Alex Bank? Alex Bank, calm down, eh? Or is it Banks? Calm down, sorry. Omoyele were with us this afternoon, and I don't know what happened there. It just disappeared. I don't know what happened there, Mr. President. That disappeared. Maybe you should opt out and, back in again as well. Sometimes the devices can be, can be tricky. But nevertheless, today not today. Yeah, I'm still gonna keep trying so we can have him on. So please just bear with us. This little glitch and all that. So we'll fix that and we'll get this started. But enjoy the music anyway. That's the most popular music for 2019. The moment you listen to this, you know the mess we are in. So Mr. President seems to be back. Hopefully that's it. Yeah. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Maiyegun General.
Mr.
You hear me loud
President.
and clear?
I think I can call you Mr. President now. You remember the last time you were here? Many were like, oh, it's not even the presidential candidate yet. So now you are presidential candidate to some people now. To us.
Yes.
Yeah, to us.
Yes.
I have to add myself this afternoon. So it's a pleasure having you back.
Thank you very much. 1 second. Just
take your time.
You can see my.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So
good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to be back on your show. Thank you so much. This is our TV station. This is our real TV station.
This is where it's happening, man.
It's where it is happening. This is where we get to reach our real people. And
right.
It's the reason why we don't complain when we don't get coverage from the mainstream media, because where there's the mainstream media is messing up, we go to the main street media. This is Main Street right here.
That's right. You remember you created the 7th constituency
during
the beginning of this struggle, which is
That's
us.
Right.
So
That's
we
us.
set our rules. If they don't accept it, it's none of our own business. We are rejecting their rules and we are setting our own.
We keep running our
rules.
constituency. That's the way it works. Yes, it is.
Thank you very much for being here. The last time you were here, some of our friends, our brothers who always take their time to sit and watch us and listen to us, they were not happy. They said I was speaking over you. I didn't allow you talk. Even though sometimes people don't understand the network glitch that can actually delay voice and run it over during this period. So this time, until you stop, I'm not going to ask the next one. And in fact,
no, listen, I have to say to you, you have your own style. Keep it. Nobody can be like you, and nobody should try to be like you. Nobody should stop you from being yourself, because that's who you are. That's the authentic Maiyegun right there. And some other people have different ways of doing this kind of interviews. I like the way you engage. That's the reason I keep coming back to this platform all the time. And as I always told you when we talk behind the cameras, this is how I started. I started with nobody believing me, with everybody saying, oh, if you haven't worked with the big journalists, you can't make it. But look at where we are 12 years later with Sahara Reporters. And that's why I like to support this kind of endeavors. When people started asking me, oh, go and meet social media influencers, I said no, because this period itself will create new social media influencers, new media platforms, because the real media is the media that is speaking to the aspirations and the hopes of our people.
Thank you very much. I like that. So that's encouraging anyway. So we'll do it my style, the usual.
Yeah.
So keeping it real and just as simple as it is, unscripted.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. So a lot has happened since the last time you were here. And in fact, some of us who have been watching from far we've been very much proud of you. I have to say this on Maiyegun's diary this afternoon. And
Yes.
we have nothing else to give than to support you. And on this platform, I've made it clear that for those who think winning the election, even though it is, unquote, the ultimate thing, sometimes how you win the election also matters. So to people who have been believing in Take It Back, that you have led so far successfully, have been winning. They've never been subjected to go and beg those they called thieves anymore. They
Yeah.
are now beginning to believe in themselves.
Yeah.
So that's
Listen. I was on the radio show yesterday morning. Very interesting. It's a style firm in Lagos. And the first question the anchor asked me was, how is it that you came from nowhere to start doing what you do, saying what you say, and everybody kept following you. Everybody started following you. I said, because people are tired of hearing about, lies from politicians. They're tired of people sugarcoating the objective conditions that they're in. The thing is to say, look, you are in chains, and I can see the chains. I can see that you're handcuffed, you're in leg cuffs, and you're not willing to accept it because it's difficult to accept that a grown-up man or a grown-up youth is in leg cuffs or hand chains in his country. And I said, what keeps people afraid from saying it? I don't have that problem. That's the fear of death. I'm not afraid to die. If you live in Nigeria, you are already dead anyways. So why are you afraid of getting physically killed or buried? So the only way out is to speak out, speak truth to power, get out of this irresponsible conditioning of ourselves that we're in. Because most of what we are suffering, we are responsible for it. We are responsible for the silence and the double speak and the refusal to call it what it should be called. You find young people who are out there today saying that, well, Atiku is the lesser evil. Can you imagine that? You are not doing it for Atiku. You are doing it against yourself. You are doing it. You are destroying your own future by accepting and conditioning yourself to believe that something that is substandard, that is going to kill you, is what you need to survive. And a lot of people have entered into that survival mode. And by the time we were done, I think halfway into the show, people were calling like crazy. They're calling the radio station. They said they never heard this before. Some said they heard it before, but they don't believe that it's possible to win this time around. And I said to them, look, there's never a time that it will be possible for you to win this time around. By the next election cycle, Atiku's son would have moved to his place. Buhari's son would have moved to his place. They will have perfect explanation for you why it's not going to be your turn, why this year is not your year, why next year is not your year, why it's not the turn of your geographical region, why it's not the turn of your family, why it's not the turn of your state. That's why we created Zone 7, so that nobody will say that it's not the turn of our zone. Because all the zones are the ones jostling for it. Our zone is not part of the political arrangement.
So we have to push our own zone to the
we are
front
not
corner
under
now.
any obligation. We are not under any obligation to be part of the zoning that they are doing, because we are in Zone 7. Zone 7 is not part of political zoning, right?
It's not part of the arrangement.
Anybody in Zone 7 can contest for president, governor, without having to be part of any zoning deal. But at any rate, what is zoning? Zoning is lazy man argument to winning elections. They can't cover the whole country. They are not acceptable nationally. So they go and hide underneath one umbrella called zoning. Win election, and then they start taking care of not even the zone now. They're taking care of their families only. So people who voted for Buhari based on zoning, they know where they are today. Go and ask the people from Taraba, Benue, Plateau State. They are supposed to be part of the North too now. The people in Adamawa State, they are supposed to be Northern Nigerians. People in Yobe, Borno State, they are supposed to be Northern Nigeria, but they've been left out of the process. They've been left out of the political process. They've been left out of the welfareistic process. They are giving their children what they call empower, whereas they're hiring their children at NNPC and the Central Bank of Nigeria, where they've hired thousands of people who are just children of politically connected people. So you have a choice. The choice is yours. You can completely buy out of this. You can bow out and buy out of this slave-like condition and never be part of it again. And you can only do it once. You can do it once, and you don't have to wait for the next 4 years or the next 8 years. You don't have to wait for zoning. You don't have to wait for any political process that changes you or change a member of your family. You know, you're part of the world, you know, because at the end of this, zoning don't bring roads,
It's not in
doesn't
your
bring
interest.
electricity.
It's not in our
It
interest.
doesn't protect your interests. It protects the interests of few people within the political process. And that's the message we're
Let's
taking
put
to
it
people.
this way. Let's do it this way now, because one of the fear out there usually is that you don't have the coverage, you don't have the structure, but you have proved them wrong. I, as a person, I'm a politician myself, and I can say boldly that you have proved all pundits wrong.
Yes.
Especially when you started. So now people will be asking. Initially, I've also demystified that on the Maiyegun's diary. I think 2 days ago, there about that. Yeah. They said you are working for Buhari and APC.
Oh, is that nonsense?
You know, I'm coming. Nonsense. They said you are working for Buhari in APC for APC to return on one hand. I mean, yeah, so that PDP cannot take over on the one hand. Then on the second hand, they say you can't even win 10,000 votes. Then I ask myself, how can someone who can win 10,000 votes be a threat to another party?
Exactly.
That is it, that believes that except this man is not contesting, then we will defeat Buhari. But he's here to divide our vote. Is it 10,000 votes you want to take from PDP votes that will deny Buhari re-election? I mean, that will deny PDP winning. Now, all these myths, all these lies, the APC give you money, they won't give you money. We know, because I've been part of it as well, indirectly, from behind. So people who put this together, how have you managed to sustain this so far that is now yielding results that I don't even know how you do it? Because Tinubu can be giving you money, and then PDP can be giving you money. We don't know who gives you money now, and we don't know who they say you work for.
If PDP or APC gave you money, somebody who is handling the money would have revealed it by now.
Okay.
All you need to get the secret out of any transaction in Nigeria is to involve two people. The third person would have said, I'm the one who gave, even if it's to tell his wife and the wife would tell her sister, somehow the thing will come out. I've been such a huge thorn in their flesh that there's no way I would have been doing back deals as they claim. Don't forget, they used to even accuse me of working for Atiku when Atiku was fighting Obasanjo in those days. Obasanjo people said I was, I've been around for so long. When I was in the university, they used to accuse me of working for Gani Fawemehi, you work for Falana, and then they said we're working for Abiola. It wasn't until recently that people knew that even Abiola offered me 800,000 naira when I was a student leader at the University of Lagos, and I rejected it. At that time, 800,000 naira was probably equivalent to about $1 million today, considering the value of naira at that time, compared to the rubbish it is today. So I have been through this before. People have accused me of, collecting money to write stories. They've accused me of blackmail. They used to accuse me of working for Tinubu. They say, he works for Tinubu. So people even swore that they saw me at Tinubu's house. Meanwhile, I've never been to Tinubu's house before. I've not seen Tinubu. I've only met Tinubu maybe twice in my life that I can say we met one-on-one. There were times when we were doing Adecco and they'll come to meetings. Like I used to say, they sit in the back because we're the ones running the show in those days. We had the streets. So, but then I met him in 1999 before I traveled to the US during the transition program when I was living. Ever since then, if I fall on top of Tinubu, I won't even know how he looks. He won't know how I look, except that we see ourselves online. Never been to his house. If I've been to his house before, somebody would have said, I saw you and provided the date. I don't need to go to anybody's house. But the reason why people say this thing is that they cannot believe that there are young people like us out there who are not beholden to godfathers, who can come out, set up a media platform, do what you want to do on it, tell the truth on it, damn the consequences, and still start. Most people know that if they do a fraction of what I do, they would have become billionaires. So they can't understand, they can't relate with that transparency and honesty. It's like, how dare you have Sahara reporters and you're not a billionaire? You don't have houses, you don't have cars. But they have to understand that we built ourselves, we built our consciousness from a way long time ago, So when it was profitable to follow Babangida in the days of Babangida must stay, we were Babangida must go. When it was profitable to follow Abacha, joining political parties he created, we were anti-Abacha. When it was profitable to follow third term for Obasanjo, I was anti-third term. When it was profitable to follow Yaradua Kabal, I was anti-Yaradua Kabal. When it was profitable to follow Jonathan and his re-election. I was against it when it was profitable. Now to follow Buhari, because most of the people that you are seeing who are out there, they are making a killing out of the Buhari project. They are paying for it. They are not doing it for free. We are against them. So whenever there is time for me to go in the side of wealth, I choose poverty because that's what my conscience tells me is right. So
That's
midst of
it.
it, I created my own company. I created, if I was a US citizen, I probably would be celebrated as one of the people that's most innovative, during this time. Or because if I had a white skin, something. And I'm not saying it to exacerbate racism, but that's
Like
people
have
have
that
privilege.
preferences
They have
and that
opportunity based on
privilege,
their skin
yes,
color.
with what you
So
have done.
I sat in the middle of New York, created a company that reached the whole world, that had the CNNs of this world calling me, syndicating my news, BBC. There's nobody you meet who doesn't know, and they know that we're legit. At the time, you found a lot of reports even within the U.S. Government diplomatic cables. They were
And you
all
created
quotations for Sahara
this
reporters.
not from stolen money as well, because
No,
now what they are doing now in Nigeria, what they are saying
$600.
now in Nigeria,
I created it.
what they are saying.
I created it with $600. I created it with a $600 a computer, laptop. $600 was what I bought that computer, my first computer on eBay. Sat in the basement and just hammered away, just like yourself that you're doing today. And I encourage you to keep going at it. Just be honest with it.
That's right.
Don't let anybody pollute and dilute your style. That's the reason why I say, don't change your style regardless of what pressure you come under. And
That's
so
right.
the people that are going to run Nigeria, they are running Nigeria today, are people who multiply cows. They had 150 cows in 1983. Still 150 cows in 2018. Or the man who was a custom officer who cannot explain how he got money, stole whatever could be stolen. When Nigerian universities were going
I was
on
even
strike,
coming there. See, I was even coming there, Mr. President.
When the public,
I was.
Yes.
Sorry, I was coming there to that one because the narrative out there now is that, like you said, Atiku is going to be their savior. Some people are saying that. But ironically, or let me say even funnily, so to say, they said you brought Buhari. They said you used your Sahara reporter to bring Buhari. Meanwhile, Atiku, Saraki, who gave billions to Buhari's election, are being praised. You that reported all the transactions.
that's the contradiction.
And it's now being condemned. What is going on?
So exactly. But you know what it is. People want to put you down. They do everything. Some of them are, some of them are funny. Some of them, they do it just to irritate. You shouldn't just pay attention to that. They know deep down in their mind that I was never part of people who took money from Buhari. I did not even, in those days and still today, we don't accept political adverts. So if we wanted to, it would have been legitimate. But today, I wouldn't have been able to say, well, I didn't benefit from it. In fact, the guys who benefited directly are social media influencers from Buhari's regime. They know that they approached us and said, look, there is money. I was in Lagos underground for 6 weeks. Nobody knew I was. I was staying in a hotel and did all the work that needed to be done, organized everybody that covered the election based on my own terms and on my own accord and using my own resources from Sahara reporters. Not a dime came to Sahara reporters from the Buhari. And later, well, not even later, I knew at that time that they were probably not as straightforward as they were. Now, it's been revealed that they collected money. Like you said, Atiku gave them money. Saraki was in charge of collecting money from the NNPC. I even heard Saraki collected money from the Ziani on behalf of. They were collecting money left, right, and center. And those people who collected the money to fund the Buhari campaign or who donated to it are the ones that you are now telling me will save Nigeria. They are the ones who brought Nigeria to you. I'm not the one who brought Nigeria. They are the ones who brought Buhari to Nigeria. I'm not the one I didn't contribute to the Buhari region. What I did during that time is what I do all the time, or what I've always done, is when there is corruption in government, I expose it. So whoever wants to use it to run with it, you are free to run with it. The Jonathan people reached out to me during that time as well. There was money. They were spending money like water. Traditional rulers, everybody was collecting. Politicians, you have it. You have it on record. Even smaller, PR companies were collecting money from Dasuki in those days. Did they reach out to me? Of course they did. But did I do deals? If I did, there would have been some record somewhere that even
You would
if
have
it's
been seeing
10,000,
them by now.
that
That's
should
true.
have collected. So everything you see that we do, and this is very important for you because of what you're doing. Don't be distracted. People are going to come after you. They will make up stories, lies. I remember exactly about this time in 2014. Some guy in London started a newspaper. I don't remember the exact name of the newspaper now, and said that I took a house of $5 million. A house of $5 million was given to me by the APC in California. Provided no address, provided no information. Most people believed it. Even some of my friends were saying, so you didn't tell us now that you have a $5 million house in California. They even went and took a fake picture of a house, put it out there. But the moment it was a special vehicle for blackmail, the moment the guy finished doing that, and then people realized, they pulled down the website. They didn't stop at that. You remember there was a time that Saraki went and cloned Sahara reporters.
Yeah.
Both on Facebook, and they call it some name. They use all our logo likeness. It took us a long time to fight it. Who was doing it? It was one Umishore boy who was his social media guy. Turns out that even some of the people we were meeting at that time who were saying, "Oh, is it true?" They were under his payroll. Social media influencers. This is a boy who his wife is working in the US and also collecting money.
Salary in Nigeria.
In Nigeria. So these are the kind of people that, our system is so horrible that we will support what is wrong. Sometimes simply because this is what gives us instant gratification. And instant gratification has killed Nigeria, right? It's like having a one-night stand and you get syphilis from it. The next morning and after, you will never recover from it. You won't be happy for a long time. So Nigerians need to just wake up at this time, start to think progressively, and say, look.
Yeah, yes. Mr. President, that's where I'm going to come in. There's another thing. I remember when you mentioned the increment in living wage. It created an uproar all over the country. You mentioned the medicinal value of or the forex value of marijuana in Nigeria. It created an uproar as well. But guess what? There's something they have also stolen from you right now that is about to become a campaign slogan: restructuring. Many people believe that you never really told them much about restructuring and the rest of that, right? But now you are here. If restructuring pop up, or how can you bring restructuring debates into this discussion in our own language, not in their own explanation? Because we know what they mean by their own restructuring. It's about restructuring themselves again. So you, as emerging leader, should be able to tell us, okay, guys, this is going to be our own style of restructuring. And except we do it this way, we're not going to accept that. So let's hear that from you, Mr. President.
No, I have said it, and it's very important. There's a restructuring of Nigeria that is necessary, fundamental, and deep that needs to be carried out. And there's the buzzword called restructuring, right? I'm not part of the buzzwords of restructuring. The buzzword is driven by those who have political agenda. And you're already seeing where they are going. Some of them said they met with Obasanjo yesterday. They are our very brothers, I will tell you that. And they said they are tilting towards Atiku. The restructuring campaign was all about the appropriate candidates that they can align with. If anybody tells you that Atiku believes in restructuring, the person needs to see a psychiatrist. If somebody tells you that Obasanjo believes in restructuring, you are wasting your time. What I have said, and I'll say again, is that I believe in the tenets of restructuring, devolution of power, resource control. I believe in state police and all those great things that should come with restructuring. But it has to happen also with a fundamental position and process. First is that the Constitution of Nigeria as it is today is a fraudulent document. If you want to restructure Nigeria, you should go first fundamentally to go and change that Constitution to be all-inclusive, to carry the voice of everybody, to go through a referendum, The
But people
restructuring
will
they're
argue
asking
that
for
the
is
National
because
Assembly is doing that already, Mr. President. People will argue that the
which National
the
Assembly?
alteration in our
Which National Assembly?
document right now is to make the document perfect. That's from the other side. If they want to argue it, what would you say?
It's not possible. It is not possible for the current National Assembly members to do anything good. There's nothing good that can come out of our National Assembly. Don't let anybody deceive you. And another thing I said about restructuring, which is important for us to understand, because my positions are consistent, is that old people cannot restructure Nigeria for me, right? I cannot on one side be saying that Buhari is too old to govern Nigeria, and on the other hand say that the old people who are fighting for restructuring mean well for Nigeria. Let all the old people leave the stage for young people. In fact, for me, the beginning of restructuring is a generational transfer of power. Are you still there?
Very much here.
Yes. So if there's the generational transfer of power, young people like you and I, who can understand each other, can come together and restructure Nigeria, right? Restructure Nigeria in the interest of our generation. Restructure Nigeria in the interest of the next generation, in the interest of digitalization, in the interest of modernity, technology. Old people cannot have conversations around the future because they don't even understand the future. That's why their first reaction to when you say get in the game with cannabis market is, oh, Shiwore wants to go to hell. Because they don't understand that there's a market out there. Just yesterday, Canada just announced that they can only satisfy 30% of their demand for cannabis, medicinal cannabis. And we are here arguing whether Shiwore smokes or not, which I don't. I've never tasted marijuana in my life. Never smoked it before, never inhaled it before. But I don't begrudge those people who use it for medicinal purpose. I'm just saying get in the game before it's too late. And already we are seeing it happen. Other countries like Ghana here is in the game. South Africa is already in the game. Zimbabwe is in the game. Other African countries that know what they are doing, they're already in the game. But we are here still arguing with that. I'm just telling you that when you have people with analog brains driving any conversation, including restructuring, just know that it's taking you nowhere. It's just like people loading into buses that have no tires. By the time all the loading is complete, come and move now. Because the wheels are off. So, but for them, it's a gravy thing. It's also a way of intimidating the current system for accommodation, bribery, corruption. Some of the restructuring calls are meant to notice me, take care of us too. We need some chop. Yeah, I'm very clear about that. So I'm just advising our compatriots who are falling for the argument to be very clear about the restructuring they're asking for, and who is advancing the argument, and who is leading the call for it. And I think I'm better placed to restructure Nigeria because I know what needs to be restructured in Nigeria first and foremost.
Thank you for that as well on the restructuring. But I'm going to take you back to party organization now. To some people, apart from you seem to be the as the face of this, the face of the movement and of the party. People are more or less of, well, how far is AAC doing in the northern part of the country now that we have two presidential candidates from two what do you call it, PDP and the APC parties who are from the north? What is Shiwore's chances? What is AAC's chances? What is the party? How is the party faring in the northern part of the country so far? Some people want to know.
I think people should be concerned about how we're faring everywhere, not alone. The advantage we have this time around. We have an advantage over. We don't have that regional issue to deal with anymore, right? There is no monolithic north anymore, and I've been there, so I know what I'm talking about. I've been to a lot of north. I've been to all the regions campaigning, doing town hall meetings. Nobody has ever done that within this political era. And I can tell you, I would love to just spend more time preparing myself for the places that are necessary. The young, poor, abandoned, and disenfranchised Northerners. Do you know one of the things we found out during
Okay.
our trip? Contrary to what they are telling you, a lot of Northerners have moved out of the North because of insecurity. Contrary to what you're hearing. Millions of Northerners have moved out of the North. And then what you are left with is also very important to know. There is no North for Buhari in Taraba. There's no Northerner for Buhari in Plateau, in Benue, in Adamawa, because these people are under attack from his negligence, ignorance, or connivance, or complicity. So you have to understand that. So even if I want to be selfish, I will spend less time bothering myself in certain places because I know they're going to divide their votes. Tatiku and Buhari will fight themselves to finish. So if I can concentrate on areas where I have advantage, comparative advantage, I do that. And not waste, because we don't have a lot of money. We just need to reach out to core people.
That's why we have to come to that, Yeah, that's why we have to come to that point of, resources. Because you've done so well, and Nigerians have been very, very supportive. Because I know you don't even have the
very supportive, and I must thank you.
You know what I mean? So and we have to keep.
Nigerians have shown me love. They've shown me love. They've shown me support. Incredible support. I mean, for me to have raised $80,000 on GoFundMe within 8 months is amazing, considering that it's the first time any Nigerian person running for political office ever raised money transparently. And then we raised over 10 million naira also in our Zenith Bank account that's based in Nigeria, Lagos here. Yesterday alone, we raised about £1 million just by pleading with people. So our brothers and sisters are buying into these ideas. They're supporting us. And it's very, very important that you understand that we appreciate them. We want them to know that we really, really, truly appreciate them.
They are the oil. They are the oil that keeps this machinery running. And we have to keep living with them.
You remember when we started, Maiyegun? You remember when we started? When
I remember.
You used to make fun of us. Yes, that Showore's Facebook page based this, and then they saw us in Kano, and then after they saw that we were going too fast, they started complaining about my health. Oh, Showore, you look tired. You need to rest and things like that. So one other thing I need to clear with a lot of people who are asking us to go out to campaign now is that, unfortunately, we cannot campaign as aggressively as we can until November 18. INEC will sanction us if we go out there, start doing rallies, mounting podiums, saying vote for me. They have said that campaigns cannot officially start or will not officially start until November 18th. So please, if you're watching and you're one of the people who is always online saying, go out there. So we'll use other strategies to reach people. But the massive campaign that we need to start cannot start until November 18th.
So then we have enough time to keep raising money and at the same time
money. Yeah. So
reaching out to people.
We're going to keep raising money from now and until that period. We use all kinds of methods. Today we got a person who said he will give us billboards in Edo State, radio jingles in Edo State. People are starting to come around. Go ahead.
That's lovely. So, like I said, we'll keep raising money, and this time around, to me, the outreach, so to say, with what I've seen so far, we are among the people, especially in the eastern part of the country and the western part of the country. I know that sometimes donation support is not always about money, so to say. So logistic, you just mentioned radio jingles, billboards, and the rest of that. And I believe you need this more than ever this time around to raise awareness across the country. So for the Take It Back watchers who are watching us right now, please do me a favor. Drop the link of the GoFundMe for Showore 2019 in the comment section on this broadcast. At the same time, please drop the Nigerian donation account for the AAC Showore 2019 account as well. Drop that in the comment section. And to my friends, followers all over the world, listen, when you started, they said you were not serious. Then
Yes.
You launched your GoFundMe account to raise money, because people started asking you, where would you fund money? Where would you get money from? And you were like, yeah, Nigerians will fund it. Then you created a GoFundMe account. They said, oh, he's a scammer. They mobilized to shut down the GoFundMe account until you restore that.
They shut it
then
down within
after
24
that,
hours.
they started monitoring they started monitoring your the development there. And to God be the glory, you are still very much around. You have started a political party that is going to contest in an election, a national election 2019. And at this junction, I can tell people that, listen, if you have a doubt in you that makes you feel like, I don't think Showore is serious, there is nothing else for you to wait for to confirm his seriousness or not. All you need to give right now is a little support. Every little help, like Tesco says here, every little help, every penny counts.
And we're telling people
at this junction,
all the people who know our Zenith bank account number, you can put it in the comment section. I'm trying to do that.
Please put that on now, because I'm not with the.
So I have a small device, so
I'm not with
I have
the
put the
phone with
GoFundMe and the Zenith bank account, and you can also donate to us in kind. People give us buses to brand. Some people give us cars outright to use. The car I'm using was donated by someone in Lagos, and it takes 7 people. People donate their time to protect us. It's been amazing, and I want people to understand how important it is that we do this. And I hear from people, I still hear from people who make comments that Showore should go to the Senate or be a local government chairman. It's the reason we started the party. Yes. Is the reason we started a party, so that those of you who are not who are not enamored enough to want to do presidency, you can become senators under our party. We need people, But Showore is going for the presidency of Nigeria, and is going to do better than all the candidates that are out there now, who are claiming to want to become the president of Nigeria.
So we have a caller.
It's amazing.
We have a caller.
I'm also going to put my phone number here, so that if you want to reach me, if you want to use
phone you through there.
words I made, you can use it. My phone number in Nigeria is 818.
So please, your name and where you are calling from, and your contribution, please.
Hello?
Yeah, hello, sir.
Yeah, please, but I cannot see you.
No, you can't see me. You are supposed to call me on audio. It's a phone call. It's not video call. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Please, I just went online now, then I see that you're busy there with our new president.
Yes, sir.
Showore. So I've been listening for what you people are saying. So in terms of come for Nigeria issue, see, we have a very big problem in that country. Are you getting me?
Thank you. I'm with you, sir.
And I'm so happy that someone like Showore is out for the president of Nigeria. You see, we young youth in Nigeria.
You didn't tell us your name and where you are calling from.
Okay, sorry, my name is Chima.
Chima.
I'm from Imo State.
Lovely.
And I'm calling from Pakistan.
Okay, so go ahead, sir.
So what I'm trying to say is, you see, that country called Nigeria, and we love that country, Nigeria, but our problem that we have in that country is our leaders. Are you getting? So all I have to say is, if we young youth can stand in that country to tell our leaders our own rights.
That is why we have a Showore. I want to hear your contribution. Like, you've been watching us, you've been listening to us. So I thought probably there is going to be like a punchline, like, okay, you know what? Yeah, let's do this. This is what I want to do. But that's what I was expecting.
What I'm trying to say now, we need to stand up to vote for these old people again. If we start to vote them again, they will still take us back.
That's true.
I get me. We need something that can come out.
But we have something here. Yeah, we have something here. It's not even just something. We have a valuable, someone at hand now that, except we make him valuable, right?
Yes.
It will not be valuable. So yeah, how can we make sure we're valuable to our people? That is why we are here.
Yeah, that is why I'm trying to say.
All right, sir.
We young youth, we need to stand and say that this is what we want. We need to vote this guy that to call Shorori. I get him.
I'm with you, sir.
He's a young youth. He's a young youth like us. He needs our future and our generation future. I get him.
I'm with you, sir.
Their brain is not working anymore. Their brain is not working anymore. So we need somebody can stand for us. I get him.
I'm with you.
So move Nigeria forward.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you very much,
Join
ourselves
together. Let us join ourselves together and vote for this guy in. So let him enter there and change that country as a better place.
Thank you, sir.
That's something that I have to contribute. Please.
Thank you very much. I like that, Chima. My regards to our brothers over there.
Okay,
yeah. Mr. President, that's Chima. He's sending his own greetings and support from Pakistan. He's from Imo State.
That's amazing. So, that's amazing. Just as we, I like to be transparent, and I encourage people. Just as we're here, someone just made a donation of 10,000 naira to us. I want to appreciate him. This is Ajaya Kimbode. He just sent 10,000 naira to us, and
that's lovely.
You can imagine how many
posters your fan here
for us.
Yeah, there is this a fan here calling from Aberdeen. Hello, Mr. Felix.
Hello, good afternoon, Maiyegun, the General.
You're welcome, sir.
I'm so happy to be on the program this afternoon once again.
It's a pleasure.
And also, I'm so happy to see the incoming president by the special grace of God, the person of Mr. Mobilization on your show. My whole contribution is very, very simple this afternoon, and it's straightforward. Is that everybody, all hands should be on deck. People should start calling those that are outside Nigeria should start calling their families. They should start informing people their friends and families outside. They should start telling them about Omoyele Sowore. You see, the point is, he cannot do it alone. He cannot do it all by himself. He's tried everything. He has already presented himself as the sacrificial lamb. So we should give him the support. All youth should give him the support. You see, sometimes I'm very, very surprised to see that some youth, some people will still be shouting Atiku, or be shouting Buhari, or be shouting Saraki and the rest of them. I'm very, very surprised, because at this point, I would have expected that the youth would have come out en masse, would have come out en masse to support a visionary leader, someone that is ready to give everything to the people. So my contribution is that let everybody, most especially we that are outside Nigeria, we should start calling our families, our friends, and our extended families, our relatives, and we should start telling them about Omoyele Sowore.
We should also start opening our wallets as well. Because that's going to be the oil that is going to fuel the vehicle. You know that.
Of course, absolutely. Well, I shouldn't be saying this online anyway. I contributed a little bit some couple of weeks ago on GoFundMe.
Thank you.
But I'm still planning to do more, because I'm waiting for some things to happen. So I'm still planning to do more.
Thank you.
I've contacted someone for a poster, to do a poster back in Nigeria. So the person is going to handle it, and is going to post it somewhere around Lakwe area, around that Aja area. So let everybody join hands together for this project. It's not a one-man thing. If you know you want the development of Nigeria, please, you need my youth, my fellow youth, please, you need to join hands with Omoyele Sowore. That's just my contribution this afternoon.
Thank you so much, Barrister Felix Olatunjoye. Good afternoon.
All right, thank you very much.
That's our barrister there who's been doing great work for us, and also he's been very supportive. I can recognize him very well. I appreciate you a lot for what you do, and as this memo needs to go out there that you have nobody to blame after this election but yourselves. If you don't do something about this, if you make the wrong decision to vote the wrong people in power, you can forgive what you've done in the past. But with the knowledge you have now, with the information you have, if you still decide to go the wrong way, too bad. Yes. So let's
sorry,
keep
Mr.
going.
President. You know, they'll be phoning, they'll be calling it out for those who have grabbed the number. Good afternoon, sir. Where are you calling from? Your name?
Yeah, my name is Samuel Awomie.
Samuel Awomie, okay. From where, sir?
Yeah, I'm calling from Germany.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to plead to all our youth. This is our last opportunity we have in life. And I want to appreciate our president candidate, which is Moyere Sowore. I want to assure all the youth that we are on the ground, underground, and working seriously for this project in Nigeria.
Lovely.
You may not know what we are doing, but I'm assuring you that it's our turn to take it back in come 2019.
Lovely.
Understand? So you should not worry. This man have worked a lot. Understand? I believe that by now all our youth are supposed to, according to what he said, that by November we have to do a massive rally. And things will change. I'm telling you, something will turn around. Like me personally, I was coming from all the way from Germany to join the support in massive way. We cannot allow all those people to be fooling us every day. Understand? So when you see this, our humble man, I don't call it a president. I call him like a blood. He have sacrificed himself in the streets, in everywhere, in all his effort, leave family and other things because of me and you. Why are we still talking? Something that I'm seeing for our comments, sometimes our youth. I believe that our youth is like we have gone to house to be flogging them.
Maybe.
So I am pleading on behalf of every Nigerian. If you know that.
Sorry. Please continue.
All these people will kill us. Understand me? I know how much I send from here to Nigeria every day. They will kill us. They are sucking our blood. Understand? So please,
thank you so much.
He's a man that has stand for us. So let us put him in every of our efforts. Understand me?
Good.
In 2019, I'm telling you, if it is on internet they are arriving, we can put overalls on them. I'm seriously, I'm very, very angry because of where I'm seeing our youth.
It's sad, but thank you so much for your contribution, and thank you so much for your contribution again.
We don't need to. This man that's sitting beside you now, talking to us now, our president. We have watched his history in television, in every video that since when he started in life, he have made.
Thank you very much for your time, Michael. That's a caller there from Germany. It's like he's a call, take it back, grassroots himself. So, and then I have another caller here again. This time around is from the UK here. Good afternoon. Your name and your location.
Yeah, my name is Oladimeji from London.
It's a pleasure, Mr. Oladimeji, sir.
It is a pleasure to have you. Maiyegun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. My president, hi, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good to hear from you, Oladimeji. Thank you.
We love you, especially the young guys in diaspora that listen to you. You are the last hope, like the last man that just called. You are our last hope. Everybody is courageous. Everybody is informed. Everybody is prepared. Everybody is so focused now because of you. Because of you. It's just because of you. A lot of things has actually happened in Nigeria, but you are the last thread that gives us the hope. And we keep praying. We keep putting every effort. We keep doing everything that this vision will come to a mission accomplished for us in Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen.
It is going to happen. That is the belief. That's the mindset that everybody is having now. Among the youth in diaspora, especially in London, we always speak about you every day, especially me. I'm mad of you, and I keep saying it.
And I'm coming to London. I'm coming to London soon, November 10th. I'll be in London.
This hope is for you to represent us well. Please, don't disappoint us at this time. We have the trust in you. Trust me. Everybody is having the trust, especially we, this younger generation that are not born with silver spoon. I know how I managed to get myself to this country, Maiyegun and Showore. I see a lot of things happening in this country. I say, wow, what's really happening in our country? What's really happening to Africa? What's really happening? There's no elder in that country. Forget it, Maiyegun.
That's right.
You are point on. Like Showore said, I was following your program. That is the first thing that he encouraged you on. If anybody is talking, say you are talking to, forget it. There's no elder anywhere. I follow Nigeria program with all my data every day, every minute at work. My bosses, they know me. I said, that's my country. I have to put my effort on it. Because your priority is all about this country, as you can show me. That's not my problem. I'm here to work legally, to, provide for my family. That's all you owe me in this country. But I know where I come from. That's where I have to put all my best. But so God know why all this thing is like this.
It is well. It is well.
We have faced a lot. You understand? So I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, Showore. But please, when you get there, hold on to your word. Reach out to us, to the down, to the least level. Go to the root of this poverty. Go there. That is the word. That is the word you're preaching now. That is what I want to speak to you.
Thank
it's
you
going
very
to happen.
much.
I believe it. It's not by mouth anyway. Like I myself and my friends, we are planning before November. If things materialize as well, the people that can come home, they will come home to help out. Some people are coming in for Christmas. We have talked about it. They will come. Anybody that can volunteer himself personally, if not by resources, we're talking about that.
Physical volunteering.
Yeah, for us to go out with you,
yes.
You can't say. Maybe you need people to go all around with you to speak up as well,
That's right. I think, could it be that we've lost him, I think. Anyway, Mr. President, sorry, one sec. So we lost that call, or that caller as well. Probably we'll get him back in the long run. But before we take another call, there's something I also would like to, discuss with you on this platform this afternoon, and it has to do with this new Euro bond again. We have been hearing of this Nigeria debt increasing by 142% in 3 years. Right now, we are hearing of another Euro bond again, even though they keep saying now we have the good financial health to take out this loan. You are aiming to be our next president. What's your concern, or what's your views about this incessant borrowing that it seems never to give up or stop, even if they are facing election?
I don't call it Euro bond. I call it Euro bondage. They're trying to mortgage the future of our children in the name of these bonds here, bond there. It is most likely what they are using it for is to finance elections. Of course, when they want to go and borrow or raise, in this very cutthroat markets for raising revenue, they pay huge interest rates. And they don't even, as look at the fine prints of the agreements. Buhari has said it that he sometimes doesn't read, or that he's such a slow reader. So they're just interested in borrowing wherever there's money to borrow. And it's Nigerians that are going to be forced to pay this in the future, which is very, very sad. But we must continue to sound a note of warning that if you don't vote these guys out, they will borrow you back into slavery. They are borrowing us back into slavery. And this is unacceptable. I can tell you that this is just another attempt to get money to use to fund the 2019 election.
Anyway, I have another caller here, and I think is hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. This is Faith calling from Italy.
Faith, is it Faith? Did you say Faith?
Yeah, I said Faith.
Okay, Faith from Italy, Mr. President. So there you go.
I'd like to say thank you for your Take It Back movement. I have been impressed so far. But my little contribution is this, and I don't know, this is just me. Have you ever thought about making, should I say, kind of coalition, joining forces with this guy, Kingsley Moghalu? Yeah, your front is the not too young to run. His is also the not too young to run. You have your own youth yearning for you. He has his own youth yearning for him. I think with a coalition, you guys should stand like tall above what you have now. Gain more fronts, more supporters.
Coalition.
This is just me saying like a proposal.
No, it's a brilliant idea as well. So, Mr. President, do you want to address that coalition, a possible coalition between the younger aspirants, the not too young to run as well? So that's the question of faith. Thank you so much.
We tried to do it before. We tried to do it before, and I'm sure we're going to have to do it now that it is right. You see, there was pact before, right? And you saw me with the pact people. But my suggestion then was that they should come together. Let all the pact people go and get the presidential nomination of their respective parties, and then we come together and decide who is strongest. That did not happen, but I have always said that at the right time, boys will be separated from men, and men will be separated from old, lifeless men. So we're getting there. I have no doubt that they are seeing the handwriting on the wall. If all these other young aspirants who are out there fighting understand what is needed for us to fight forward and not backwards, or if they are not fronting or representing special interests, this is the time to come together. I have watched a lot of them.
We have another caller here as well, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
I don't have anything against them, and I've always asked our supporters to be nice and kind to them. But they know that we own the streets.
Please hang on a minute.
We have it up here. We have it in Stamina. Let them come. Let's join together. Let's defeat these old people. We have to defeat them. We have no option than to beat these guys still in the next election. And that is going to happen whether they like it or not.
Yeah, I have a caller here. Sorry, your name and where you're calling from, sir.
Yeah, good evening. I'm calling from India. My name is Festus Akibi. So, what I want to contribute is this. First of all, I will thank Mr. Pashomoshowore for his effort and everything. He is just a destiny changer to us in that country. For his
yeah, go ahead.
Over there in the US to save us all these mess that we are passing through in the land of Nigeria today. And what we are passing through today in Nigeria is not a good thing at all. It's just like the country is just like a shame to the world. So most of our people back home there, most of them don't have access to social media as well. I will beg my brothers and sisters in this platform as well that is supporting Showore for us to take Nigeria back to see the light, because right now we are in darkness. We should call our people as well and tell them they should support this party, because we know that we all that they have in abroad, they respect us so much back there at home, because they have us in abroad here. They demand many things from us as well. If we call our people, they made them to understand this is who you should vote for. This is what we are supporting. This is what we are spending our money donating for the better of Nigeria tomorrow, for the better future. Definitely, we are going to win the 2019 election. So that they should not focus on all those 5,000 that all those baboons are giving to them every elections as well. Because the 5,000 we don't they will not use it for 2 days or 3 days to feed than selling their future, their destiny, their great children's future away for all those babu. As you can see right now, they are not even killing only the country. They just want to take us back to slave trading. For China, it's like they are selling our future to China. After they are, if we give them this time, this is our opportunity now. If we allow them to sell our future out, we did not support Shomosho now, they sell it out to China. All those baboos, they will leave the country with their family. They will go to 1 or 2 comfortable countries and stay there. They will never come back to Nigeria. We will still be the one that will be suffering it as well. And we that is in abroad, we have to call our people back home, because one day when we are getting old, we will still go back home to go and stay there and rest, because there is no place like home. I will urge each and every one of us in this platform as well. We should be posting about this election every blessed day in our platform as well, calling our people back home in the village, in the city, who to support, who to vote for as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Contribute.
Yeah, thank you.
Support, you tell 2 or 3 people. It's a lot of things. Only one person can make the core of man to be above APC or PDP. We can use only one person to win election.
That's right. Thank you so much, my brother, sir. I like that.
In India, I can't cast my vote, but I can tell people to vote.
To vote,
I will
yes.
also try my possible best to open my wallet and contribute
I like
to
that.
the movement as well, so that we will get to our promised land.
I like
Because
that.
Shomosho is our Moses right now to lead us out of the land of Egypt and take us to the promised land that the Lord has promised us as well.
Thank you. In order to manage our time, thank you so much for that contribution. And please, like you said, let us walk the talk. When we talk to our people, we too should also talk to our people all over the place. Thank you so much for your time. Mind you, in order to, before we finally release you, Mr. President, there is this audio sent in by one of the callers, and I saw a comment that says, please play my audio for him. But I don't think I'll be able to, because more calls are coming in and all of that. How many time can you spare with us?
Yeah, Maiyegun,
give us
just so that you understand, so that you can see that I just put on my jacket. This is supposed to make a cameo appearance on your show. We have appointments that are lined up out there for meetings and greetings and get-togethers. So if you don't mind, if you can release me as soon as possible.
That's what I mean. I can release you right anytime. Now, and we'll deal with this. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
I can release you, Mr. President. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. I want to thank all your viewers and all of our supporters who are on your platform. Every night we also go back. We go online and reach out to everyone so that you can understand developments that are happening. Please continue to support us so that we can have a country we all can be proud of. Not the country managed by thieves and people who have no life. Lifeless people, people with no life, people with no ambition, people with no capacity, people with no credibility and capability. So please, Nigerians, at this point, I have to keep begging you that you should get the consciousness you need, because it's the easiest thing to do. If all of us can come to this conclusion very quickly, we won't have to even raise money. We can agree, stay in one corner, and on election day, we mobilize ourselves en masse, 70% of us, and defeat these guys and let the whole world be saying what just happened in Nigeria. So looking forward to re-engaging with you again, interacting with you, and esteemed members of this platform. Thank you so much, and have a great day and good morning.
Thank you.
From Lagos.
Thank you. You have a good day yourself. So that's
thank you.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to mean us that we have come to, probably they are forcing us to accept as our faith and all that. So we will not take what do you call it? We will not take their rules as our rules anymore. But to make that effective and real, what do you have to do? Chip in your support. It's not just about money this time around, like you heard. yeah, you can support him with other material, campaign material stuffs. In fact, you can support him by volunteering to be part of his mobilization team. Lots and lots of ways you can be of help to the Sowore campaign, to the AAC. And he also mentioned that, yeah, he's looking forward to a coalition arrangement with other young presidential aspirants in Nigeria, including Fela Otoyeke, Sinimo and the rest of them that have proved themselves so far, or this far, so far anyway. So yeah, that if there's going to be any negotiation between presidential aspirants or presidential people who are running for presidential offices, then let everyone go and secure the ticket of his party. So to this day, from having about 27 or 20, having about 22 presidential aspirants in, 3-4 months ago, we now have serious ones that you can count with your fingers. You can count with your fingers. So, which means we are getting there gradually. Some people said, well, Sowore is not going to agree to any consensus arrangement and all of that. Yeah, you may think so, but guess what? It depends on what everyone is bringing to the table. You can't bring something so big, so huge, so magnificent, and so massive as take it back to any political negotiation table. And people will say you don't have anything on that table, or probably you should take the back seat. That would be difficult. So yeah, hopefully they will manage to reach an agreement that will eventually put a stop to the division that everyone is imagining and all that for now on this 2019 presidential race. I know people are still very much calling me, but guess what? Omoyele Sowore is going to be busy with his programs now, and you've heard much of that from him here already. So yeah, I'm also calling it a day as well until when I will come back for my own normal program, probably later in the day. This is a video that can be probably a little bit edited here and there and be used for promotional purposes for AAC in their campaign for 2019. It's a fundraiser. Read through the comments, possibly watch it over again, make your contribution. Omoyele Sowore, when he declared for presidency in April, many called him unserious. Many said he was just probably, a tall dream. Some even called him a scammer. But guess what? So far, so good. He is the only party right now at the national level. He is with the party at the national level that has no any form of a scandal or internal wriggling. Wriggler, whatever they call it, that you can start probably comparing him with others. You can't. So he's managed to prove to us that if Sowore, like you said, some of the people who criticized him then, like they said, right? If Sowore was a scam, then probably this is the best scam that you should at least let happen to you. Because those who are scammers, those who have been elected into different political offices, in the last 19 years, they've become president, vice president, governors, former this, former that, minister, this and that. In the last 19 years, what did we get? Nothing. By getting nothing, why do you refuse to call them scammers? Meanwhile, someone who came open and said, listen, I don't have money. I want to be president. I can be a very good president, but I don't have money. I don't have money for campaign, for all of these things. If you support me, then I will be a good president. Then he came out, he said it, I don't have any money. Then the people who have been your former signatories to your different bank account, different state account, and the rest of that in the last 19 years, to now come back to you and say they are your savior, and you agreed. Like I threw it at him on the program earlier. I asked him, I said, it's so funny, I'll say, because someone who was publishing the happenings in Nigeria in the political circle, right? Goodluck Jonathan's regime, or let's say Goodluck Jonathan's government, Sahara Reporters was publishing happenings, events, blah 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 at that time, same as Premium Times. Meanwhile, Atiku Abubakar, Saraki, Bukola Saraki, Kwakwanso, how many of them? All of these people who are now turning out to become your savior today. They were putting down money. They were mobilizing resources. They were using all their contacts. They are using everything they have to make sure Buhari became president. But ironically, those people who invested so much money to buy the election for Buhari in 2015. The real people that made Buhari the president are being praised in 2018 to be your savior in 2019. But the man that reported all the happenings, all the nonsense happening within that political arrangement of that era, is now the enemy you must run away from. It's ironical somehow. It is some sort of irony that I don't know how to explain. But guess what? Educating ourselves, constant, banging and banging and banging it in our head that listen, your slave masters means no well for you, and they mean no well for anybody anyway. But until you stop imagining that nonsense that they have been planting in our head to make themselves look like, yes, they are the best thing that will ever happen to all of us. Until you stop imagining that in your head and creating that utopia in your head of these criminals can always be good. They can't. Look at this. He's done so much to tell us, to show us that yes, it can be done. That's one thing about him. And I said it, it's not about winning alone. Buhari won 2015 election, but he lost the battle. 2015 election was about unity of Nigeria. We're so divided. You remember? So whoever became our president in 2015 was meant to actually unite us as a people. But when Buhari came in, he won the election, celebrated. People celebrated him. No, he won the election. But what happened after the election? The division gap widened. Nigerians are now more divided. So Buhari won the election and he lost the battle. Today, that division is still very much in existence in Nigeria. We now have people who are now supporting Atiku for a reason best known to them, and the same people on that same condition are against Buhari. Meanwhile, there's no difference between Atiku and Buhari in all sincerity. So now, what is the way forward? Alternative platform. If you ask for one, or if you are looking for one, this is one you can actually probably check and stop fiddling and toying with that crap that they keep repackaging for you every 4 years. Yes, I say that. Look this up. This is the real deal. Support Showore. Give the little you can give. Call your family member and tell them. In fact, give them conditions. You know Nigerians are very stubborn. You know we are very stubborn. And with our sense of entitlement capacity, what should I say, we have this thing called sense of entitlement. Like we always believe that even if we don't work for it, we are entitled for it. We're like, you have to give me. Yes, because you have. I don't have. You have to give me. That sense of entitlement and the rest of that we have. But listen, until we take this up ourselves, like I say, like I will say anyway, so until we take it up ourselves and push it through like this guy is already doing anyway. So until then, Baba, we cannot go back to those, I don't even know how to describe them anyway. But however, this is the real deal. Omoyele Showore, look him up, check him out and support him. He is having my own support. We use the platform to give him that advantage as well, like many other people have done for him. And to God be the glory for those who are watching now. Do the needful. Ignore these guys. Ignore these guys. Stop replaying that in your head that, a vote for Showore is a vote for, a vote for Buhari. Is a change of narrative. A vote for Atiku is a vote for Buhari. A vote for Buhari is a vote for Atiku. You are just deceiving yourselves if you vote for either of them. So try something new and, about no regret. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. I know many people have been calling as well. I won't take much call. I won't take any call again. But when we come back to talk about Nigerian politics, the debt, the increasing debt in Nigeria, the increasing poverty in Nigeria, and the increasing corruption in Nigeria. Have you heard? Buhari's government is adjudged to be the worst, the most corrupt government ever in Nigeria history. Have you heard of that? I'm going to actually bring that up sometimes later. So yeah, the journey has started, and let those who doesn't eat from the table of the oppressors grab your bag, grab your boot, roll your sleeves. Let's hit the road. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon, and you have a very wonderful week. Good afternoon.